This is all a little bit different. I don't normally vlog on this camera into this microphone. I often vlog sat in this chair, but this is a different vlogging camera angle. It's all very new and confusing, and for a good reason. It's been a rough weekend and end of last week, and I just wanted to give you an update to let you know why, where we've been, why it's been a few days since there's been a video, what to expect over the next few days, hopefully only a day or two. It's likely to be as close to one take as possible, because as I record this, it's 11 o'clock on Monday. I don't think we've recorded anything since Thursday evening, maybe. And yeah, I guess I need to jump into explaining why. Basically, Andy's not been very well. Friday, he missed school because he was poorly. He had a little bit of a temperature. He had a little bit of a sniffle. He just generally seemed a little bit groggy and unwell. You know, when you see someone and they're not very well, and he just looked a little bit spaced out, and it was pretty clear he wasn't 100%. So we decided to keep him off school, which is always a big risk with Andy, because as soon as you get him out of his routine of going to school, it's pretty hard to get him back into it, even if there was good reason to take him out of the routine. And that's exactly what's happened over the weekend, and then going into today as well. So he is 100% fine and well and happy now, but is also 100% refusing to go to school. So at the moment, he's upstairs in his room. He's got none of his stuff. We've taken all of his devices off of him. We've told him he's not getting them back until he goes to school. So it's not even a case of once he gets through the normal school day, he can have them back. So that's how we used to do it before, when he was refusing to go to school for a long time. He wouldn't get his devices between 9 and 3, but as soon as it hit 3 o'clock and it wasn't normal school time, we'd give them back to him. But we've said to him today, he's not having them back until he goes to school. So if he refuses again tomorrow, he won't get them back. He's not having them back today. He won't have them back tonight or in the morning. He'll get them back next time he gets home from school. I don't know if he understands that. He'll certainly be understanding it at about 3 o'clock today, when I'm fairly confident he's going to trot up to us expecting to get them back. And we're going to be like, no, you got to go without them now until tomorrow. So I think we've probably got a nightmare night into tomorrow morning ahead of us before we get to restart the battle again that we've already had with him this morning to try and get him in. It is at the point now where he is too big for us to force him, and he knows it. Ultimately, if he decides he's not going to do something, there is no way for us to make him do it anymore, other than making the alternative as unpleasant as possible and reminding him that he does like going. He's missing his work experience today. Monday's his work experience day, his day in the shop, which he enjoys. That wasn't enough for him. He didn't want to go in. He isn't unwell anymore. He was poorly on Friday and Saturday, but as of yesterday and today, he is completely 100% fine. He needs to go in, and has just decided he'd rather be at home and in bed. And a lot of that is going to be because his sleep routine was so messed up over the weekend. So Friday, let's go through it chronologically and try and make some sense of it. Firstly, as well, I should probably address the whole "had he had a test" thing. No, he's not had a test, because there is no way to test him. I realise he probably, as soon as anyone gets any kind of sniffle, any kind of cold or hay fever or whatever it might be, the theory is they're supposed to have a COVID test. I get that. If it was me or Anna, we would. You saw with Anna last week, she felt a little bit unwell, so she got a test and didn't have it. I should probably clarify that as well. But with Andy, it's not as simple as that, because the way the tests work, jamming them up your nose or into the back of your throat or both or whatever it might be, he's not going to do any of that. We struggle to cooperate to get him to take his medicine every day. We're not going to get him to have something stuck up his nose for 10 seconds or whatever it is, or into the back of his throat. It's just not an option. He is not, just similar to how it's going to be very difficult to ever get the vaccine in him. It's also going to be close to impossible to ever get him to take a test until they can come up with a test that is much, much less invasive to do. Like if you could do a quick swab of the tongue, we could maybe do that, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you could do it any easier. I'm not a scientist, but what I do know is based on the number of tests that I've had, I know they're very unpleasant, and he isn't going to cooperate and have one. So he's not been tested, but I'm pretty confident it's not COVID. That's why we were happy to send him back into school today. All his symptoms have gone. He was sick for 48 hours tops. I think it was just a cold. I think it was the same cold that Anna probably had last week. She had exactly the same thing. Same symptoms, sick for like a day and a half, 2 days, and then right as rain afterwards. And I think Andy's just had the same little bug. Believe it or not, there are still non-COVID things, non-COVID illnesses floating around, even while COVID is floating around. So I don't think it's that, which is like I say, even if it was that, I haven't looked fully into the rules because none of us have had it for a long time. But my understanding is as soon as you stop showing symptoms, you can stop isolating anyway. That might have changed. I think that's what the rule was at some point. So even if it had have been, and he'd have tested positive last week, I think now he's got no symptoms, he'd be clear. I might be wrong about that. Don't take that as gospel. You might want to look that up before using that as your own advice. But I think that's the case. But yeah, he was not very well on Friday, so we kept him off school, and he got up at normal time, but then went straight back to bed because he wasn't feeling very well. That's what he does when he's not well. He just goes straight back to bed. So he slept most of the day on Friday. We woke him up for his meals, or tried to. He wasn't really into doing that. And he slept through most of Friday, into the evening, into the night, but then got up at about 2 a.m. He was absolutely wide awake and stayed up until his normal breakfast time, and then went back to bed again. And he had a little bit of time where he was awake on Saturday afternoon. He was up for a few hours on Saturday afternoon, but then got to about 4 o'clock on Saturday. Those of you who watch our streams, you'll have heard me and Anna mention this on the stream on Saturday night. We were planning on streaming on Saturday night anyway, but we actually started a little bit earlier than planned because about 4 o'clock he went to bed again, and he slept through till about midnight. And then it got to about midnight, and once again he was up all night, and we were trying to get him to go back to sleep. Or I say we, Anna was trying to get him to go back to sleep, and he was not having any of it. He was completely wide awake. And we then spent yesterday, when he wasn't sick anymore, trying to keep him awake, and it was an absolutely impossible task. He just could not keep himself awake yesterday. So we ended up letting him have a little bit of a nap in the afternoon. He ended up going to bed a little bit earlier than normal because he couldn't keep himself awake. So he's kind of developed into a nocturnal sleeping plan. So last night, again, overnight, he was up mega early. I don't know actually what time he got up because, again, Anna is a trooper and dealt with it all today. She's upstairs with him now, so I don't know exactly what time he got up this morning. But it was early enough for him to already be tired again by the time it was time to leave for school. So when I got up at 7, he'd already been up for ages, and he had his breakfast at normal time, about 7:30, and then immediately started talking about wanting to go back to bed and being tired. So he went back up to his room, lied on his bed, and it got to normal getting ready for school time at 9:15, where he has to do his teeth and get dressed and all that kind of stuff. And he just said, no, go back to sleep, no school, go back to sleep. And we did all of the normal reminders and bribes and things with him, told him if he didn't go to sleep, he wouldn't get to go to Nottingham. So we had to cancel his Nottingham trip this weekend because he was sick. And we were still of a view that we should probably isolate, even just to be on the safe side. For as long as he's sick, we should probably stay at home. So that's what we did over the weekend. We didn't go out. We didn't go to Nottingham. So we've told him he can go to Nottingham in 2 weeks because that's the next weekend that Amy's not here. But he said, that's fine. So I said, no school, no Nottingham. That's fine. Right, well, I need to take your devices off you then. That's fine. And then he took his iPad, his phone, and his Switch, put them all in his little devices box that they go in overnight, just handed it to me and got into bed. At which point, all my ideas are done because we've told him he's not going to Nottingham. We've taken his stuff off of him, and he's just now lying on his bed. And Anna's, like I say, it's 11 o'clock now. Anna's been up there since 9, just trying to keep him awake. She just sent me a text saying she's lost her voice because she's been singing at him for half an hour to keep him awake. And I had a shift up there from like 9 till 9:45-ish. I was up there for a lot of it, trying to persuade him to go to school, trying to keep him awake. But yeah, our plan now for the day is not let him nap at all, keep him up as long as we can into the day. At the very least, we've got to keep him up beyond dinner time this evening. He's almost certainly going to have to go to bed early because he just will be dead on his feet. He won't be able to keep himself awake. But get him through to something resembling a bedtime whilst having no devices. Get him up normal time tomorrow. Hopefully he'll be well rested and a little bit easier to reason with. And having experience today with no devices and us not letting him sleep, school might seem a little bit more of an attractive proposition for him tomorrow. That's the plan anyway. I've said to Anna, if at any point today he decides he's had enough of her and just wants to go into school, we'll take him in. It's one of the joys of me being at home rather than working as a teacher now. If he does refuse to go first thing, but gives up around 11:30, we can take him in at 11:30. So that's there as an option. But yeah, our plan at the moment is make sure he has a pretty boring and rubbish day. He doesn't get to sleep, get him sleeping tonight, and just treat tomorrow as a normal Tuesday. Get him up, hope he goes, and probably if he does the next 9 consecutive days of school, we'll probably still take him to Nottingham. We'll let him have his stuff back when he gets home tomorrow and hopefully be back on routine, back on schedule. But it shows just how easily his entire routine can fall apart. His sleep routine has completely fallen apart because he was sick for 36 hours. And because he was sick, he gets 1 day off school, and now the school routine has completely fallen apart as well. I was saying to Anna when we were having a secret meeting trying to decide what to do this morning, that this is the thing with him. As soon as he realizes it's, Friday morning, we were telling him it was a school day until we decided to keep him at home. So he's now got in his head that, sometimes on a school day, I can still not go. And now that's in his head. And we need to get that out of his head again somehow. I suspect it's going to be a challenging week. So that's why there haven't been any videos over the last couple of days. I don't know what kind of content we're going to have over the next few days. It really depends on whether or not he goes back in. If he goes back in, we'll have more time to create content. If he's at home the whole time, I need to do my share of parenting. Anna can't be up there 24/7, keeping him awake and being, trying to keep him not amused, but keep him from wrecking stuff through boredom. So we don't want him to be entertained and having fun. But at the same time, he has got nothing to do up there. So we can't just leave him up there on his own, because when he's bored, he gets destructive. So Anna's up there doing the dual task of keeping him awake and keeping him from doing anything that he shouldn't be doing. And I'm going to have to take my shifts doing that as well over the course of today. And if he's off again tomorrow and the next day, and however long it is, we're going to have to work out some kind of shift rota that allows us to stay sane, both of us to sleep a bit, and for me to still get some work done as well. So because of that, things might slip a little bit here, but watch this space. If we do have go a couple more days without a video again, it's not because we're bored of the vlog. It's not because the vlog is going away. It's just because circumstance, and it will be back to normal business once normal life resumes at home. Thanks for watching, folks.